Let us derive generalized heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinates. Generalized heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinates. This generalized heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinates is used to find out temperature variation or to calculate heat transfer rate in regular shaped bodies like rectangular, cubes, squares, cubes, shaped bodies like room air conditioners, furnace walls of regular shape, and refrigerator, etc. This generalized heat conduction equation takes into account following three conditions. Three-dimensional heat transfer, that is, heat transfer taking place in X, Y, and Z directions. Then unsteady state heat transfer, and if material is non-homogeneous and anisotropic, and finally there is heat generation within the body through which heat transfer is taken place by conduction. Okay. In order to derive this generalized heat conduction equation, let us consider an infinitesimal rectangular parallelepiped element of a solid material having its three edges parallel to X, Y, and Z axis respectively. Okay. So what is this element we are talking about? Let us draw this first. So let us consider this solid body in the form of a wall. I am drawing a wall for the sake of example. Let us consider this is the solid body through which heat transfer is taking place by conduction. And all these four conditions are applicable here. That is, in this wall, heat transfer is taking place in all three directions, x, y, and z directions. The heat transfer rate is not constant with respect to time, so unsteady state heat transfer is there. The material of this solid body is non-homogeneous and anisotropic, so its thermal conductivity and other properties are varying in the x, y, and z directions. And also, there is a heat generated within this body. Let us, in order to analyze all these four conditions applicable here, let us consider an elemental volume in the form of parallelopiped. Now let us draw this parallelopiped element and its enlarged view so that I can represent all the required heat transfer and other conditions and able to see in a clear manner. So let us draw the parallelopiped. Let us say dimensions of these three dimensions of this parallelopiped element of this solid wall are dx. Let me enlarge this. Dx in the x direction, dy in the y direction, and dz in the z direction. Let these three edges are parallel to x, y, and z axis respectively. I can also draw the position of this element with respect to these three axes. Let this element is at distance x in the x direction at a distance of y in the y direction and at a distance of z in the z direction. So this is again the enlarged view of this. Okay. Now I want to represent all the heat transfer rate in three directions, X, Y, and Z. Let's say, let us first give the nomenclature to different faces of this parallelopiped element. Let's say this represents face A, B, C, D. It will help me to identify different planes and area. And this is E, F, G, H. You can see it's in large view. Okay. A, B, C, D, and E, F, G, H. Let's say heat flow into this element at a distance of x and perpendicular to the left face A, B, C, D is Qx. Let us say heat flow out of this element at the right face EFGH at a distance of x plus dx is Q suffix x plus dx. So these are the heat transfer taking place into the element from left face and right face. Similarly, let heat transfer or the quantity of heat flowing into this element at a distance of y and perpendicular to the face ADFE is QY. Let us say heat flow out of this element at a distance of y plus dy is Q suffix y plus dy. And it is perpendicular to the face CGHB. And final direction is heat flow into this element at a distance of Z is QZ, and heat flow out of this element at a distance of Z plus dz is Q suffix Z plus dz. So here you can see the combined diagram. This is the solid wall through which we want to analyze the variation of temperature because of unsteady state heat transfer, three-dimensional heat transfer, homogeneous and anisotropic material of the body, and heat is generated within the volume. And this is the diagram of the elemental volume at in large dimensions. Okay, so the heat transfer taking place into or out of the element in all three possible directions are represented here. Qx, Qx plus dx, Qy, Qy plus dy, and Qz, Qz Z plus dz. Let us say the heat is generated within this elemental volume at the rate of Q dot G watt per meter cube. And let's say the thermal conductivities of this elemental volume in the direction of x is kx, in the direction of y is ky, and in the direction of kz is kz. So this is the required diagram for our analysis. So let me give the name to all these three figures. Figure 1 represents heat conduction through solid wall or solid body. This is figure 2. It is elemental volume. And figure 3 represents position of this elemental volume with respect to three axes, x, y, and z. Okay. So let us continue our discussion from the next page. Now, before going into the detail, let us assume that thermal conductivities of the material of the body in the x, y, and z directions are kx, ky, and kz respectively. This is because of non-homogeneous and isotropic material of the solid body through which heat transfer is taking place by conduction. Now, in order to find out the generalized heat conduction equation will take into account effect by unsteady state heat transfer, then three-dimensional heat transfer, then non-homogeneous and anisotropic material, and heat generated within the body. So let us first analyze the effect of all these different conditions on the temperature variations. So we have to derive one by one the effect of all these parameters, and we have to write their effect in terms of mathematical equation. So let us first try to find out the equations for three-dimensional heat transfer. So we have heat transfer in x direction, y direction, and z directions respectively. So first find out what will be the effect of heat transfer in the x direction and how that effect can be taken into consideration by writing mathematical equations. Now, as you can see in this diagram, the heat transfer in the x direction takes place perpendicular to the two faces. The heat transfer at a distance of x is termed as qx, and it is normal to the left face A, B, C, D. I am considering the amount of heat or quantity of heat which is entering into the element perpendicular to the left face A, B, C, D during the time d tau. Here for analysis I am considering a small interval d tau. This time of interval may change because we have considered unsteady state heat transfer. So whatever quantity of heat I am taking and its rate I am taking into account, that will be applicable for this time duration d tau only. The moment time interval changes, the heat transfer will also change because it is unsteady state heat transfer. So let us write down equation for this qx. Similarly, heat is also leaving out from this element at a distance of x plus dx, represented by the term qx plus dx. So their effect can be taken into account by writing equations for them. Now, these are one-dimensional steady-state heat transfer. Heat is transferring or heat transfer is taking place in one directions only. And currently it is x direction. And we know whenever heat transfer takes place in one directions, in order to write the equation for heat transfer rate, we can use Fourier's law of heat conduction. So we can write equation for qx and qx plus dx using the Fourier's law of heat conduction. So the amount of heat qx entering into the elemental volume and normal to the left face A, B, C, D during time d tau. So I want to write the equation for this Qx, that is amount of heat which is entering into the left face, entering into the elemental volume perpendicular to the left face ABCD and during time d tau. So this is a one-dimensional heat transfer. So I can recall Fourier's law of heat conduction to write the equation for this heat amount of heat. What is that? Qx will be, it is say minus K, since I am considering thermal conductivity K in the x direction, which is specifically constant for that direction only. So it will be Kx, then area normal to A is area normal to heat transfer. So what is the area normal to heat transfer in this case? If heat is perpendicular to this face A, B, C, D, the area of this face A, B, C, D will be area normal to this heat transfer Qx. So I have to write area as area of face A, B, C, D. Then variation of time delta T, and it is changing with respect to the thickness. And what is that thickness? Small thickness. It is del X. Now this entire amount is rate of heat transfer given by Fourier's law of heat conduction. I am interested in quantity of heat or amount of heat Qx. So I will multiply this by time duration d tau. To elaborate this, let me write down Fourier's law of heat conduction. Fourier's law of heat conduction gives us rate of heat transfer Q dot, that is nothing but Q by time, is equal to minus Ka dt over dx, where dx is also called as thickness of the material in the path of in the direction of path of heat flow. It is also called as length of path of heat flow. So if I am interested in amount of heat, I have to multiply it by this entire rate equation by time. So the same thing I have done here. Okay. Now similarly, let us find out the equation for this heat transfer out of the element and perpendicular to the face E, F, G, H. Okay. Before this, let us simplify this equation. Qx, I can also write it as minus Kx. And what will be the area ABCD? Area of ABCD normal to the heat flow Qx is nothing but this dimension multiplied by this dimension. So this dimension is nothing but dy, as you can see here. area normal to heat transfer is nothing but AB into BC. AB is nothing but dy and BC or AD is nothing but dz. So area normal to heat transfer ABCD will be dy into dz. So let us put this area into this equation. Dy into dz del T over del X multiplied by the time interval d tau. So this is the final equation for heat transfer rate Qx in the direction of X and entering into the element. Now similarly, the amount of heat Qx plus dx leaving the elemental volume and normal to face. What is that face? EFGH at a distance of x plus dx, and this amount of heat is leaving to the right face, sorry, EFGH, during the time d tau. Okay, during the time d tau. Now to write the expression for this Qx plus dx, we have to apply Taylor series of expansion. Now, why this Taylor series of expansion is required? Let me explain. Now, what is happening into this elemental volume? This heat Qx is entering at the left phase, and while it is flowing through this distance dx, which is very small volume, small dimensions. However, while this heat Qx is flowing through this small dimension dx, it is varying with respect to time as well as with respect to this distance. So the amount of heat which is leaving this phase EFGH will be summation of this heat which is entering at this phase and the amount of heat which has changed while flowing through this distance dx. And this can be found out by applying Taylor series expansion. So how to write the expression for Qx plus dx, leaving the elemental volume at a distance x plus dx. So from Taylor series expansion, I want to write the expression for Qx plus dx. Qx amount is entering at left phase while Qs is flowing through the distance dx, it is changing. And in order to take into consideration that variation of qx over the distance dx, we have to write Taylor series expansion. So it will be del over del x qx dx by factorial 1 plus del square over del x square of qx dx whole square over factorial 2 plus del q over del x q of qx into dxq over factorial 3, and these terms will go on and on. Okay. Now, what is happening? We have considered infinitesimal volume. Infinitesimal elemental volume of parallelepiped. Okay. In the simple language, whatever the element we have considered as a control volume is very small. Infinitesimal means very, very, very small. Okay. So as a result of this, so this dimension dx will be very small. And if this dx is already small, so its square and cubes will also be small. That means the value of this term dx is very small, so dx whole square will also be small. If you will multiply this small quantity with the entire term, its contribution to this series is very, very small. You can neglect it. Similarly, dx is very small, its cube will also be very small. So contribution of this term to this Taylor series expansion is again going to reduce. So keeping in mind this very fact that dx is very small, we can neglect higher order terms. In the above series, okay. So simplification of this Taylor series expansion will give me the equation for qx plus dx is equal to qx plus del over del x qx into dx, and factorial of 1 is 1. Correct? So this is the amount of heat, that means this qx plus dx is the amount of heat which is leaving the elemental control volume in the x direction and normal to the face EFGH. So this is the required expression for qx plus dx is equal to qx plus del over del x qx into dx. Now what is happening? As I am saying, now what is happening? As I am saying, heat is entering into the left phase. It is changing while flowing over this distance dx in the path of the heat flow, and finally leaving from the right phase. So this is the amount of heat which is entering, and this is the amount of heat which is leaving. And as heat transfer is varying with respect to the space coordinates as well, these two amounts will be different as well. And depending upon their difference, the remaining amount of heat or balance of this difference will stored into this elemental volume in the form of stored energy. Got the point? The amount of heat which is entering is different. The amount of heat which is leaving the elemental volume is different. And their difference will be stored in this elemental volume, called as heat is stored in the elemental volume due to heat flow in the x direction. Now, what will be that heat which will be stored into this elemental volume? Let us find out this. Okay. Therefore, heat is stored in the elemental volume in time duration d tau due to conduction of heat in the x direction. Okay, so let us take the heat which is entering, that is qx. I am taking it positive from the sign convention of thermodynamics, and heat which is leaving the elementary control volume, that is qx plus dx, I am taking it as negative, and their difference will be called as heat is stored. And since this much heat is stored in the elementary control volume due to heat conduction in the x direction, so it will be called as q suffix x suffix stored. Now let us simplify this. Qx minus, let us write down the expression of qx plus dx from this equation. So qx plus del over del x, qx into dx. Okay. The bracket is here. Now, as you can see, qx will be cancelled by this qx. So what will the expression I will get for qx stored? It will be minus del over del x qx dx. Correct? Now let me put the value of this qx from this expression. The expression for qx is this. Qx is equal to minus kx dy into dz into del t over del x, entire term multiplied by d tau. So let us put this expression into the expression of stored energy. So if I put that expression for Qx from Fourier's law of heat conduction in this expression, I will get del over del x minus kx dy into dz multiplied by del t over del x into dx. This minus del by del x, this entire term is qx dx multiplied by d tau. This d tau is here actually. So please take into consideration. Now let us simplify this expression. So heat is stored in the elemental volume due to heat conduction in the x direction can be given as, if you simplify this, this minus minus will get cancel out, correct? This kx is the thermal conductivity varying with respect to x, so you cannot take it out. dy and dz are the dimensions of elemental volume which remain fixed during our analysis, so they are constant. So I can take it out, both these values, from this bracket. So simplification will give me like this: del over del x kx del t over del y. Now taking dx is already out. I am taking dy and dz out multiplied by theta. Okay. Now further I can simplify this expression as del over del x kx into del t over del y, and dx dy and dz is nothing but volume of this elemental parallelepiped. Okay, where dv is nothing but elemental volume of parallelepiped. This can be given as dx into dy into dz. Correct. So what is happening when heat is being conducted into this elemental volume in the x direction? This much amount of heat is stored into the element. Let us say this is equation number 1. Correct? This is x. Please read it correctly. This is, and this is also x. Do not get confused. In the similar fashion, I can do the analysis for heat flow in the y direction. Let us take back this diagram once again. In the similar fashion, I can do analysis for heat flow into this elemental volume at a distance of y and perpendicular to the face A, B, H, E. Similarly, I can write the expression for heat flow out of this elemental volume at a distance of z plus dz. Sorry, this is z direction. Okay, so this will be qz. Similarly, I can find out, write the expression for amount of heat flowing out of this elemental volume at a distance of z plus dz in the z direction, qz plus dz, and based upon their difference, some amount of energy will be stored into the element that will be called as qz suffix stored. Similarly, I can find out qy stored due to heat flow into or out of this element in the y directions. Okay. Now the analysis is same what we have done for heat flow in the x direction just now. Only the direction of the heat transfer is changing. So in the similar fashion, what point I want to convey, in the similar fashion, I can derive the expression for stored energy due to heat flow in y and z direction. Now here my suggestion, you need not to do the exercise what we have done for heat flow in the x direction for y and z directions. No need to do that exercise. Simply, it is recommended to write down the expression for heat stored due to heat flow in the y direction. No need to derive it. Simply, I can change just the direction del over del y and the thermal conductivity in the direction of y. So it will change ky del T. Now heat is flowing in the direction of del y. So the length of path of heat flow of the element will be del y. Volume will be d tau and time interval will be deta. Okay. So this is the amount of heat stored in the elemental volume due to heat flow in the y direction. And in similar fashion, I can write it for qz stored as del over del z. Thermal conductivity in the z direction is kz, del t over del z, because we are talking about heat flow in the z direction, dv into d tau. So this is the expression for heat stored in the elemental volume due to heat conduction in the z direction. Okay. So what is happening actually? This is mathematics, but what is its physical interpretation for us as an mechanical engineering? See, what we are doing actually, we are trying to find out the effect of heat transfer in three directions, x, y, and z. And what will be the effect of this heat transfer in three direction on the temperature variation of this elemental volume, and in turn on the temperature of the body through which heat is being conducted. Okay. So heat is flowing in x, y, and z direction, and while heat is flowing in these three directions respectively, by virtue of this heat conduction, some amount of heat is stored in the element. Okay, so what will be the total or net amount of heat stored, okay, in the elemental volume of parallelepiped due to conduction of heat in all three directions. That is X, Y, and Z directions. Correct? So how can I find out this total amount of heat stored in the element due to heat flow or conduction of heat in the X, Y, and Z direction? So this Q stored can be summation of heat stored in the element due to heat conduction in the X direction plus heat stored in the element due to heat conduction in the Y direction and heat stored in the element due to heat flow in the Z direction. Okay. Now let us put the expressions for all these three heat stored Qx, Qy and Qz. So Q stored can be written as let us write down all the expressions. Del over del x kx del t over del x dv into d tau. This is the Qx stored plus del over del y ky into del t over del y into dv into d tau. This is the Qi stored plus del over del z kz del t over del z into dv into d tau. So this much energy will be stored due to heat flow in x, y, and z directions. Okay. Now in all these three equations, dv and d tau is common. So let me take out all these terms and write the simplified expression del over del x into kx into del t over del x plus del over del y ky del t over del y plus del over del z into kz del t over del z, and this entire these entire terms are multiplied by elemental volume dv into time duration d tau. Okay, so this is the expression for total stored energy in the elemental volume due to heat flow in all three directions. And let us say this is equation number 4. Correct? So this is the effect of three-dimensional heat transfer and also unsteady state heat transfer, because here we have also considered heat, the amount of heat transfer is changing with respect to time as well. Okay. Now let us take into account the second condition, that is heat generation. Now let Q dot G, Q suffix small g dot heat generated in the body of per unit volume. It is the rate of heat generated per unit volume in watt per meter cube. Okay. Per unit volume and per unit time. That is why its unit is watt per minute. Amount of heat generated per unit volume and per unit time. So joule per second will give me watt per meter cube. Okay. And I am considering the total elemental volume of this parallelepiped is dV. So what will be this total heat generated within the elemental volume dV and in time duration d tau. This is the rate of heat generated per unit volume. Now I am interested what to do the amount of heat generated within the control volume in per unit time. So capital QG will be Q dot G, that is rate of heat generated per unit volume. In order to get the amount of heat generated, I have to multiply it by its volume. So Q dot G into dV will give me watt. But I am interested in amount of heat, so I have to multiply it by time units. Now it will give me the amount of heat, that is joule. So this much will be the amount of heat generated within the control volume in time d tau. Let's say this equation is equation number 5. Now what can be the sources of heat generation? Why heat can be generated within the control volume or any body? So like heat can be generated due to nuclear fission reaction. Heat can be generated within the control volume due to flow of current in the coils of electric motor. Okay. Heat can also be generated within the control volume due to ohmic heating. Ohm, and from ohm it becomes ohmic heating, isn't it? Now, nuclear fission reaction is clear to you, that gives generation of heat. You have also seen the electric motor gets automatically heated. That means some heat is generated within the electric motor, and that takes place due to flow of current, because electric current is flowing through the motor, and from the Joule's effect, current also produces heat in the electric motor, in the transformers, in the electronic equipments, because current is flowing. Similarly, ohmic heating means this application of ohmic heating is in the electric iron. When current is flowing through the electric coil, the resistance of the coil gives rise to the heat. Okay, so more will be the resistance, more heat will be converted, more electricity will be converted into heat. So that is called as ohmic heating. Okay, instead of loss, we are converting deliberately the electricity into heat. That is called as ohmic heating. So this much amount of heat will be generated within the control volume. So this equation will take into account the effect of heat generation. Okay. Now what is happening in this elemental control volume? Heat transfer is taking place in the three directions, giving rise to stored energy within the control volume. Heat is also generated within the control volume. So it is also increasing heat content of the elemental volume, isn't it? Now, what is the effect of this heat stored due to heat flow in the XYZ direction and heat generated? This heat stored will increase in the internal energy of this elemental volume. Okay, so let me write what I want to convey. The total heat is stored in the element due to conduction in X, Y, and Z directions, and heat generation within the control volume or elemental volume will increase the internal energy. This is also called as thermal energy of the lattice of the solid through which heat transfer is taking place. Okay, by E. Let's say increase in the kinetic energy is delta E. Okay, internal energy before heat storing and internal energy after heat storing. Okay, this will be positive because heat is stored, heat is generated. It will give rise to thermal energy of the material of the solid body and hence its internal energy. And because of this increase in the internal energy of the body will be positive. Okay, so I can also say from energy balance. Energy balance means I am taking this elemental volume as a control volume. So I can apply here first law for closed system. So what it will give me, total heat is stored is equal to increase in the kinetic energy of control volume, or in symbolic form, Q stored plus Qg is equal to delta E. Okay, so this will be equation number 6, let's say. Now we have expression for this Q stored, we have expression for this Qg. How to calculate this change in internal energy? So let us find out the expression for this change in internal energy. So change in internal energy can be calculated as delta E can be found out by rho into dV into del T over del tau. Change in the internal energy in time d tau, isn't it? I am doing this entire analysis for this time duration d tau. So it will be rho into, sorry, here C will also be there, rho into C into dV into del T over del tau. Now from where this equation is coming? In thermodynamics, we have come across this expression. Sensible heat, that is heat increase due to temperature, is nothing but mc delta T. M can also be written as density into volume into specific heat into dt, isn't it? So same thing is written over here. Here rho is the density of the material. We are considering a small elemental volume. So I have written dV into C, and del T is the temperature difference. And I am considering this rate of change of internal energy in time duration d tau. So it will be d tau. Okay. So this is the rate of change of internal energy with respect to time d tau. Correct? Now again, I am interested in amount of change in internal energy. So what I will do, I will multiply this entire term by d tau, isn't it? The unit of this term will be joule per second, and this will be second. So second will get cancelled, and I will get the unit of this delta E as joule. Further simplification will give me delta E as rho into C del T over del tau multiplied by dV into d tau. So this is the expression of amount of change in internal energy. Okay. Let's say this is equation number 7. Now, what is the significance of this delta E? This term delta del T over delta tau will take into account unsteady state heat transfer. Mind well, correct? Now we have equation 6, Q stored plus Qg is equal to delta E. Now we have in this expression relationship number 6, we have expressions or equations for Q stored plus Qg plus delta E from equation number 7. Now let us write down all these equations in combined form. Okay, so what we will get, equation of Q stored is equation number 5, equation for Qg is equation number equation of Q stored is equation number 4, equation of Qg is equation number 5, and equation for delta E is equation number 7. Okay, so let us write down all these equations combinedly. So from equations 4, 5, 6 and 7, let us write down. The equation 4 is del over del x into kx into del t over del x plus del over del x ky into del t over del y plus del over del, this will be y, this will be z, del t over del z. This entire term is multiplied by dv into d tau. This is from equation number 4. And for Qg, it is Q dot G into dV into d tau. And from equation 7, it is rho C del T over del tau dV into d tau. So sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, so after taking into stock equation number 4, 5 and 7 into equation number 6, I will get this generalized form. Now here the dv into d tau is a common term on both the sides. Okay, so they will get cancelled out and I will get a equation in this form. Del over del x kx del t over del x plus del over del y ky into del t over del y plus del over del z kz del t over del z plus q dot g into the left hand side is equal to rho c del t over del tau. Okay. Now this equation is called as let's say this is equation number 8. Now this equation number 8 is called as generalized heat conduction equation for three-dimensional unsteady state heat transfer through non-homogeneous and anisotropic material. Okay. So this equation number 8 is called as generalized heat conduction equation. All the four conditions we have cited initially, that is three-dimensional heat transfer, unsteady state heat transfer, non-homogeneous and isotropic material, and unsteady then heat generated within the control volume. So because of all these real conditions, what will be the variation of temperature of the body we want to find out. So this equation will give me the answer to that question, where this T is nothing but variation of temperature of that body at any moment of time. Okay. Now this is the combined equation. So this term, these entire terms, these three terms take into account the effect of three-dimensional heat transfer. This term takes into account the temperature variation due to heat generation, and this term takes into account the variation of temperature due to unsteady state heat transfer. Here what is happening? This delta T is varying with respect to time, and whenever temperature or heat transfer vary with respect to time, we call it as unsteady state heat transfer. So this term takes into account that factor. Okay, so that is why it is called as generalized heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinates.